Hello, everyone. This is your host, Gemma Putty, bringing vibrant living conversations from North Idaho and across this region. I'm so excited to chat with the entrepreneurs, the creatives, and the believers as we journey together to connect more deeply to ourselves, our earth, and our communities. For episode number 10, I wanted to reflect on what we've heard in the first 9 episodes. Over the years, I've found that I'm really good at consuming other people's thoughts, other people's ideas, and other people's information through podcasts, books, the web. Yet unless I consciously reflect and reprocess the information and interpret it for my own life chapter and goals, I find that the information often floats back out of my head and lost into the universe forever. So as the chronic self-help learner that I am, my view of the human experience based on the chakra system is that we start our journeys as pure essences as we're born, at the root chakra. And then it evolves as we get older and get more experiences and throughout life to go up the chakra system and hopefully at some point reach enlightenment, whatever that means for each of us. That being said, I see this Vibrant Living Conversations podcast as a journey for both you and myself to learn, to process what we hear in my conversations, and to redesign our own thoughts and feelings and then actions as appropriate to align or realign with our values, current goals, to live a true to you kind of life. Now, I've mentioned this term vibrant living somewhat ambiguously over the first 9 episodes. But in fact, I have actually put a lot of thought into what this means as my life mantra, as my personal identity brand. So much so that I pulled Brene Brown and I chose to define it. So, vibrant living to me is glowing from the inside out from a life led with a mind, body, spirit connection that authentically illustrates your soul. Basically, what I mean by this is that I believe each of our souls enters this planet to have a human experience. That means inhabiting a physical body along with a chattering mind. And to have an optimal human experience, we have to first and foremost get to know, love, and take radical responsibility for our mind and our body, and for making sure that we connect with our spirit, God, or higher power, however you want to define it, for energy and guidance throughout each of our ever-changing life chapters. And so that we can be the best version of ourselves, not for ourselves. It really isn't about us. It's for our loved ones and to radiate energy, high energy, to the planet, to the world, to the universe. The most beautiful part of this is that each of us are entirely unique beings, having a completely unique worldly experience. There's never been anyone like you on this planet, and there will never be anyone like you ever again. You're the only one that gets to shine in the way that you can. So yes, this could be petrifying and overwhelming and however you would want to twist it in a negative light, but I choose to see this as an inspiring to adventure along my own unique path, listening to my body and my intuition as no one else possibly can. So anyway, getting back to our first 9 episodes, I have kept this pretty high level, yet hopefully I've included a thought-provoking question for each conversation to prompt you to reflect and think back on what we've heard so far and how this could enhance your own personal life vibrancy. So for episode number 1, I talked to Brittany Prendergast of Holistic Wellness Coaching Academy. Britt and I talked about the gut health as the key to overall health, both mental and physical. And that isn't just through the food that we're putting into our bodies and making sure that that is real food and we know what the ingredients are and that there's very few ingredients, but it's also what are you putting on your body? How are you surrounding yourself? What toxins are in your life in general that you're breathing in? All of it goes and affects the microbiome that you have in your gut that connects to the brain for mental health. And it's so complex, but Britt and I started to talk about that. So that was a fun episode. And my question for you is, What is your gut telling you through your skin, your poop, your hormones, the gurgles it gives you, the butterflies you feel? Your gut is constantly communicating with you. How is it communicating with you? Is it good vibes or not so good vibes? So for episode number 2, I spoke with Chelsea Borgstrom of Simply C. Chelsea and I really honed in on creativity and minimizing waste. Now, Chelsea cooks meals, or not cooks meals, but she creates meal plans for people on whatever kind of meal plan diet that they're on. But she incorporates creativity through her experience in global cuisine as she's traveled around, and in minimizing waste so that the food that you're using and buying is really being spread across multiple meals if need be, and having that creativity from meal to meal to keep it exciting and to keep you enjoying cooking for yourself. Now, Chelsea also makes the beeswax wraps, so she's taking material from pieces of fashion that ended up at the thrift store or she's repurposing them to create them into these wraps that can also help preserve the food. So it was all about creativity and minimizing waste. So my question for you to reflect on is, what would inspire you to cook more and waste less? Cook more and waste less. So for episode number 3, I got to talk with Kendra Booths of Winifred Flower Farms. It was such a lovely conversation as she had a sunflower and she had her kitty and she was outside in her beautiful sun hat, obviously on her flower farm. And we talked about everything from using your intuition to lead you through your life. She was raised on the West Coast and lived a more corporate life, and then has been led to Post Falls to have a flower farm with her family and her kitty, and following her tuition and knowing when it was right to make that change and what her family needed and what she needed. And then, of course, the local flower piece, meaning that knowing where your flowers and your fruit and your veg are coming from, and knowing that when you're buying your flowers from someone in Post Falls, it's contributing to, the pollen is contributing to our ecosystem. The money is supporting our economy. The cultural piece of going to our farmers market and meeting people that we live amongst is such a vibrant contribution. So my question is, how can you better support your local growers? So for episode number 4, I spoke with Brandy Mays of Living Earth Naturals. Brandy is so passionate about the products that she puts out there, from body butter to deodorant to tooth powder to mouthwash to dry shampoo, my personal favorite. She knows the packaging that she puts each of her products in are not negatively contributing to the earth. She hates plastic. She feels responsible for each piece of plastic. So she's created products using plant-based, organic, natural ingredients that we can put on our skin, rub into our scalp, and know that we're not harming our microbiome with toxins. Her stuff is completely awesome in so many ways. And again, supporting the local economy. She just lives here in Post Falls as well. So my question, do your personal care products help or hinder health? And that's the health of yourself, your family, your community, and the planet. So for episode number 5, I spoke with Derek Locke of Black Bear Herbery, just north of Sandpoint. Derek introduced a concept of herbal astrology to me that blew my mind. Not only are the herbs and plants that we consume to be our medicine, food is medicine, but when they're picked and the universal alignment also contributes to the energy that goes into the herbs and how potent they are to help with certain issues. So he has a line of tinctures and teas that can help inflammation and female fertility and all sorts of different things. And so my question for you is, are you connected to the energy of your medicine? The energy of your medicine. What is your medicine? Is it herbs and plants, or is it something else? So for episode number 6, I got to talk with the fish folk, Eric and Katie Pemberton. Such great people, such kind, loving people. And we talked about fish, where it's sourced, knowing where it's sourced, the processes that some fish can go through to get their veins removed, or awful things that include chemical washes that end up being a product at the grocery store that we can purchase, but has had chemicals run through it. And is that really the quality that you want to be feeding your family? And now Katie and Eric are supplying this outdoor market experience only 2 days a week, because the quality that they want to serve us is top notch, and they can't do it any more than that. So it was this piece of knowing where your food is coming from, or really knowing who's supplying it for you, because I can't know everything about fish, but I trust that Katie and Eric are doing that for me. So the question is, what was your food's journey to your plate? For episode 7, I spoke with Jason Lauritzen of Strata Soul. Jason is obsessed with bikes, and he has let this passion power every aspect of his life, from his workouts to his business to his creativity. It was fun to hear how he has let his passion of bicycles become his job, as he, not even job, but creative outlet, as he takes inner tubes that would end up in the landfill and repurposes them and crafts them into purses and bags and bike accessories that he sends across the globe. And then it's become, obviously, he rides, and it's a contributor to his health in a physical way. A creative outlet for him to shine his passions to the world. So my question is, what drives you to shine each day? What is your passion, that fiery thing that just drives you to shine? For episode 8, I spoke with Jennifer Hackenbrook. She is a shamanic healer, and we talked about a lot of things in the interfaith conversation and her personal journey, but then leading to specifically the medicine wheel, which actually shows up in not just Peruvian cultures, but in ancient cultures around the world, as this cycle that we all go through on this journey of life. As I said before, we're born as an essence, but our journey is this adventure to become the best that we can as that evolves through each life chapter. It's not the same for every life chapter. You don't have the same purpose at every life chapter. Sometimes you get pregnant and then you have a kid and everything changes, as I recently found out. So you've got to be graceful with yourself and go around that medicine wheel, and it has 4 north, south, east, and west. So there's an opportunity to reflect and identify what isn't working or what is working, and then to redesign your actions and your thoughts so that you can get back on track with how you want to feel and how you want to show up in the world. So that was an awesome episode of energy work and digging deep into the truths that you were told as a kid and things that you brought even from past ancestors. So it's really digging in and doing energy work deep from generations back to who you are now. So my question is, are you willing to do the soul explorations to live your best life? And finally, episode 9 with Emily Krasnicki of Styled by Emily, we talked about decluttering to find the vibrant you. So decluttering your closet. You have so many clothes in there that you don't even know how to get dressed. And having decluttering so that the clothes in your closet honor the person that you are, the shape that your body is right now. Not living for some future self or some past self, but going in there and having clothes that really honor the person that you are right now, the identity that you want to be, that energy that you want to radiate into the world. Because we all know that that first impression, people are looking at your outside, and you can feel fabulous in your clothes, whoever you are, and in whatever chapter of your life you're at. No beating yourself up, get an awesome closet, and find your identity with Emily. So my question is, what blocks stand between you loving yourself and not loving yourself? Is it a relationship? Is it a closet? What is it? So that was a lot of questions already, but I have one more larger task for you. I often talk about life chapters. Finding your identity and getting to know your true self can seem overwhelming. For me, as I started this journey many years ago, I found it more manageable by breaking my life down into chapters. This way I could look back on each chapter to analyze what my focus was, what the labels were that I'd put on myself or I'd let the world put on me, with who and how my relationships were, and how this all shaped my self-image, how I was spending my time and how that made me feel. This reflection helped me see what lessons I learned and which ones I was continuing to try to learn over and over again, what stories I was telling myself to cause pain or joy, and what core desired feelings I was craving. Ultimately, identifying your life chapters is important to understanding how you see and experience the world and why you believe what you believe and what you need to change your belief system about to give you more joy and vibrancy. So, to identify your life chapters, for most of us to start with, it might be fairly simple. It might make sense to do it by preschool, elementary school, secondary school, high school, college, whatever that might be. But there may be rather specific points in there that break up those life chapters. For myself, I left England when I was 11 and moved to Kansas. So I have a chapter before I left England and after I left England, because that was pivotal in how I experienced the world and what I did to fit in as an 11-year-old. Later on in life, all of our journeys, of course, will take even more diverse experiences as different things make sense to define those chapters. But basically, the end of each chapter or the beginning will be a pivotal life moment or education or whatever it is that makes you see and experience the world in a whole new way. If you enjoy dreaming and visioning about the next versions of yourself, like I do, obviously feel free to take some time to reflect on who you're going to be in that next version of yourself, how that person feels, how that person will act, and that will help create goals for you to step into in 2021 or whenever it may be. This exercise really could take months to thoughtfully complete. It took me a long time to create the life chapters and then analyze all of it. But like I said, just create the life chapters, have fun with it, look back on your life, and if you were about to write a book of your life, how would those chapters break up? What would make sense? For now, if you're listening, be sure to check out the visuals and the life chapters worksheet on my website, www.gemmaputty.com, or on my YouTube channel, The Gem Go, the GEMGO. I'd love to hear any epiphanies that you have or any changes that you decide to make. And definitely let me know how I can help. So for now, I'm going to leave you with this quote. Real change comes from when we take radical responsibility for ourselves and our own healing. So get to reflecting. For now, I'm sending all the love, light, and vibrancy. Until next time.